Alright, welcome to such an amazing episode whereby we are going to talk about crop pests in agriculture. And in this case, we'll be exploring good bugs and bad bugs in crop production. So in this case, when you're talking about good bugs, in this case, you're talking about those pests that are very harmful to crops that can lead to losses in the farm. And when I'm talking about bad bugs, I'm talking about those pests that are very beneficial to farmers in that they can help to eradicate these bad bugs in the farm. So what are some of the examples of these bad bugs that we have in the farm? Okay, I'm going to talk about the bad bugs in the first series, and then in the first episode, and then the second episode will be having the good bugs coming in place. So some of the examples of these bad bugs include aphids. And aphids are scientifically known as aphis species, and they come in different species. For instance, as Aphis gossypi, which is commonly affecting the cotton. That is why we have its local name as cotton aphid. And then we have the black bean aphids, which are scientifically known as Aphis fabae. And they are known as Aphids fabae because they belong to the beans belong to Fabaceae family. So the aphids are actually affecting the Fabaceae family. Can be peas, can be beans, can be green grams, as long as it's in the Fabaceae family. Then you have the Marsis pericei, which are also locally known as green patch aphids. So when you look at these aphids, they have been termed as plant lice in quotes. When you're talking about a lice, something that is actually sucking. So the beans have a sucking effects to the crops, and some of the other effects of these aphids is that the aphids suck the sap of the crops, mostly at the young shoots and at the leaves. So once the sap has been sucked, you realize that the crops, the leaves will start curling, they will be leaf mottling, and then they will be stunted growth. The funny thing with these aphids is that they transmit a very dangerous virus to crops, and this viral disease results to production of sooty mold. In that, the sooty mold might be blocking the photosynthetic area of the crops. So in this case, photosynthesis will be affected, respiration will be affected. That's why the final result of this aphid is just death of the crop. So how do we control these aphids? The first thing, we can use the good bugs, that is the ladybug in this case. The ladybug feeds on these aphids. We can also use the neem extract, whereby we actually spray on the stems, on the leaves. We can also remove the infested parts, or like the shoots, the leaves, and also we can avoid the use of excessive nitrogenous fertilizers, as we know that once nitrogenous fertilizers have been applied to the crops will have a lot of fluid, and these bugs actually are attracted to the crops because of the fluids. So we reduce the use of nitrogenous fertilizers. We also have squash bugs. I don't know if you've ever heard of squash bugs. Squash bugs, they can also be called pumpkin bugs. Scientifically, they are known as Anasa tristis. And these Anasa species, actually, they are found in pumpkins, they are found in cucumber, watermelon, and even squash crops. You find that any crop that has been affected by squash bug undergoes wilting, the leaves turn brown, and if wilting has happened, the leaves have turned brown, it means the fruit quantity and quality will reduce. What else do you expect as a farmer? Automatically, that is total loss. So in this case, you are advised to hand pick the bugs. You unpick the adult bugs together with the mass of eggs. You can also practice crop rotation. You can destroy the crop debris in case in case you harvest the melons or maybe the pumpkins or the cucumber, you make sure that you dispose those debris properly. The second bug I want to talk about is actually the cabbage worms. Now in this case, cabbage worms are also called caterpillars, cabbage caterpillars. In another case, you will hear people calling them that diamond blackworms. But they come in different species, but I'll mention only 3 species. The first species that is very dangerous is Plutella xylostella, which is known as commonly known as diamond black moth larva. And then we have Pieris rapel, which is commonly known as imported cabbage worm. Then we have Tricholucia. Hey, this name is normally amazing and it's normally difficult for me to pronounce. I don't know why, but I think I'm coping with my pronunciation skills. I think it's a Tricholepsia knee, and this is the commonly known as cabbage looper. So some of the effects of these cabbage worms are they feed on the leaves, they create holes. Automatically the photosynthetic area will be reduced. If the photosynthetic area has been reduced, what do we expect? Wilting and sudden death of the crops. And then we can control them through unpicking of the larvae, of the eggs, even the mature pest. Or we can use BT, or we can try and use crop rotation. All this, when you combine them, or I can say use integrated pest management, it will work best for you. You also have white flies, which are also called Bemisia tabasi, Bemisia tabasi, or Bemisia species. This one causes yellowing of leaves. When you check, you'll find some small, tiny white flies. And when you check the leaves, you find the leaves are yellow. You'll find the droppings along the margins and along the veins of the leaves. And they transmit tomato yellow leaf virus in tomatoes. So you see, they are very dangerous to crops like tomatoes. So it's very essential to you as a farmer to control them by applying neem. You can use ladybugs to feed on them. You can also practice clean weeding. Remember, the main intention as a farmer is to get maximum crop yield. So if you have ladybugs in your farm, the white flies won't be existing. And then secondly, another pest I'm going to explore is the spider mite. In this case, spider mite, they come in different species, but the one that I'm going to talk about is the red spider mite. And the red spider mite is the one that is scientifically known as Tetranidantus utricae. Tetranidantus utricae. And some of the effects of this red spider mite is that it pierces the leaves, it sucks the contents of the stem and the leaves. This one automatically will lead to yellowing of leaves. Then you'll find that it has fine webbings on the leaves of the crops. Then automatically the crops will die. So you can control them by increasing the humidity content in your greenhouse. You can also remove heavily infected debris with the crops. You can apply sulfur fungicides or sulfur pesticides. And the most important thing, practice crop rotation. Get rid of this bug. Or maybe you bring praying mantis, they can feed on them. We have tomato hornworms. Tomato hornworms are also called tomato caterpillars, and scientifically they are known as Mandilka sexta. So we can control them by hand picking, because we know that they are intensive feeders. I can say they are voracious feeders. They feed on everything, every part of the crop. So control them through hand picking, or use wasps to come and feed on them, or spray Bacillus thuringiensis BT. And then we have cutworms. Cutworms, you find them, they're cutting the root base of the crop. Scientifically, we have various species of cutworms, but there are two main species, that is Agrotis segentum and Agrotis epsilon, like the epsilon, the sigma symbol. These cutworms, you find that they reduce the crop yield, whereby the plant population is reduced, so automatically you expect losses as a farmer. Deep plowing is advised, clean weeding, soil treatment using the necessary enrichments, it's advisable. We also have another pest called Japanese beetle, and this one is commonly found in North America, and scientifically known as Popula japonica. It leads to leaf chlorosis, which causes reduced photosynthesis. Automatically, we can have reduced yields in your farm. As long as you sense the first infestation of Japanese beetle, please ensure you unpick, you trap them, or you do biological control, because they are very easy to control. This is just a whole series of bad bugs. In fact, we can take even 1 hour discussing one bug per bug. For instance, there is an episode, there is a series that is going to come up, whereby it will be demystifying cutworms, demystifying Japanese beetle, demystifying tomato hornworms, demystifying spider mites, and all these pests we've talked about one by one. Make sure you stay tuned so that you get to know more about this pest and reduce the losses in your farm. So in the next episode of this series, it's going to be about good bugs. This one has just been about bad bugs. So good bugs also exist in the farms. Why can't you stay tuned so that you listen to this amazing episode or amazing series, and you get to know about the good bugs that exist in the farm? Thank you, and see you in the next episode.